Hi Pisces and Pisces rising, here is your horoscope for August 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, we start off the month with Mercury still in retrograde, which means the past, and it's in the 6th house of work and daily routine and health and responsibilities, along with the sun. This time of the year we have the sun going through Leo, and so this highlights this area of your chart. So if you're a Pisces rising or a sun sign Pisces, this is a very general overview, give you an idea of what's going on using a Western tropical astrology and the whole house system, where we put the sign on the first house here and then everything else falls into place. And this is how we have an idea of what's going on. Your birth chart and your birthday can be completely different. And so, many people may not experience what I'm talking about. I'm just, giving you ideas of what it means so you could, understand the cycle a little bit better, so you could make a better choice or decision and understand what's happening. Okay, that's what we astrologers try to do. So with the sun going through Leo in the 6th house, this is a very creative alignment this time of the year. So you find yourself maybe working harder or focusing on your work, maybe taking care of your health in a way. But this month we start off with 4 planets in retrograde, which means they are taking us into the past or going within. We have Mercury, which is probably the most important. And then we have Saturn, and we have Neptune, your ruler, and Pluto, all in retrograde. This is Chiron. This is an asteroid. It's not really a planet. So this is about going within as well because it's in Aries. So we're looking at the overall of the chart. We have a lot of dynamics here having to do with feelings and emotions because we also have Venus and Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Now, Cancer is a water sign like yours, and Scorpio. Those are the 3 water signs. And it's in the 5th house. So you're feeling very creative. You're feeling, more loving and wanting to connect with family or friends or, your loved ones in some way. Okay, so there is a lot of positive energy here. But we have to get through the first 9 days of the month because these alignments that I'm seeing here are a bit tricky. After the 9th, things should improve a little bit more. And then on the 22nd, when the sun leaves Leo and goes into Virgo, your opposite sign, this is where the relationship, everything to do with relationships gets heightened. Okay, so let's start off and tell you a little bit more about what the astrology is suggesting. So Mars enters the sign of Libra right there. Now Mars does not do too well in Libra. Mars is about aggression, it's about the self, it's about motivation, it's about challenges, and it likes to be feisty and likes conflict. Venus or Libra, which is one and the same, the sign that it's going to be in, does not like any of that stuff. So it's the opposite sign to what Aries represents. And so Mars does not work very well in Libra. It doesn't know what to do with itself. So what happens is the energy becomes very passive-aggressive or becomes indecisive and wishy-washy. One moment you're aggressive, next moment you're docile. That kind of energy is what Mars in Libra will do. Now, it happens to be in the 8th house, which has to do with finance, other people's money, sexuality, your own deep psyche. And of course, the theme of relationships is absolutely heightened even more with Mars in Libra. So Mars in Libra will bring to light a lot of things having to do with partnerships of all kinds, especially if you're in business with somebody. This will be heightened even more. Okay, so keep that in mind. For about 5 weeks or so, going into 6 weeks, Mars will be making its way through this 8th house. But there's a deep psychological component to this. So please don't take anything personally. Your sign, Pisces, is the sign that likes to beat itself up. Okay, Mars is the sign of the self. So you might find yourself over the course of the next 5 weeks or so saying things like, oh, nobody loves me, I'll never find a relationship, or I'm in a relationship that sucks, whatever. Okay, everything about Aries is about the self, and Pisces has nothing to do with the self because it has to do with giving oneself to other people. In other words, sacrificing itself to situations. And so when Mars is in Libra in the 8th house, there's a tendency to go deep within and go, nobody cares, I don't know what I'm doing. There's this wishy-washy kind of mindset. So please try and stay away from that. Now we have the full moon in Aquarius on the 9th, lights up the 12th house, which is naturally associated with the Pisces energy. Okay, and what that means is spirituality. What that means is limitations. What that means is giving of yourself to situations or other people or helping comfort them. But it's also a very mystical, spiritual, and psychological kind of house. So here we see a full moon highlighting in the sign of Aquarius, the sign before yours. So you're thinking about either the past or the future, because Aquarius rules the future and the moon is the past. And so these are the access points to the health. This is mental and spiritual health. This is physical health. So these access points get highlighted. So you might find yourself with a lack of motivation. You might find yourself at work maybe stressing yourself out because you got so much on your plate. You know, that kind of stuff. And you're going to come to these realizations. Full moons bring things to light. They bring in realizations. So we're going to be realizing what you're doing and how maybe you're sabotaging yourself, or maybe you're a part of a group or an organization that you really don't want to be a part of anymore, and you may consider leaving it. That's what I'm suggesting here, okay? Now, Mercury begins to go direct on the 11th, right there. There it is in stationary position before it goes direct. And this is in Leo, the sign that is very creative, in the 6th house of daily routine, health matters, your health, maybe a pet's health. And so things should start to improve as Mercury makes its way forward. And this has a lot to do with your daily routine. Mercury in Leo does work very well, so it's a very creative force. So you might find yourself with a lot of creativity connected to work or something else that you're doing. Okay, so keep that in mind. This could be very beneficial with Mercury moving direct. Now, speaking of beneficial, there is a wonderful alignment between Venus and Jupiter, your co-ruler, right there, that's going to be active from the 11th all the way through about the 14th. And so I would say this is a wonderful alignment for new projects, deepening, your relationship with your children, your loved ones. Anytime Jupiter and Venus are together like this in a conjunction, especially in the sign of Cancer, which is a favorable sign to Pisces, this could be very loving. This could be very wonderful for at least a couple of days. So take advantage of opportunities here to enjoy yourself, maybe to go on a lake, on a river, or to do something by water. You know, Pisces love the water, Cancers love the water. So maybe you're taking a little trip and you're enjoying yourself, maybe with family members, that kind of stuff. So this is a very positive alignment that you should take advantage of if the opportunity arises to venture out. Now, the sun entering Virgo on the 22nd, right there. Now, when the sun enters Virgo, obviously everything has to do with relationships because it enters the 7th house. The new moon also activates this energy even more so. So a new person or somebody that you know or an acquaintance or is coming into your life. This could be for personal reasons. It could be for business reasons. 7th house represents all that. Actually, the 7th house also represents enemies. So just tossing that in there, But for the most part, this absolutely feels like something new or someone new coming into the picture, maybe involving a roommate situation or another person in some regards. Maybe you're working on a project and you need help from somebody else and somebody else steps in. That is very possible here. Okay, but it's 2 weeks of new opportunities to meet new people. So I would say if you get invited out somewhere, go and check it out. If somebody wants to introduce you to somebody, by all means, check it out. And again, it could be just a friendship too. So it doesn't have to be romantic or anything serious. It could be just friendships. Now Venus enters Leo on the 25th, right there. And this is a wonderful alignment for possibly a new job, new exercise routine, changing up your diet, maybe getting a new pet. But I do have to caution you here, at least for the first couple of days when it enters, is Venus is going to be opposing powerful Pluto right there. You see that? And this is a tension. This could be a struggle over money or finances. Like, for instance, you're doing the job and you're not getting paid what you should, or you're asking for a raise and they say no, and then you're going to have to make a decision. So whatever it is, once Venus passes here, it's still quite beneficial. So if you're looking for a new job or trying to change up your daily routine, this could absolutely help you in a big way. It's just these couple of days as Venus opposes Pluto that there could be some tension or disruption in the mix with this energy. So keep that in mind as this alignment occurs, all right? Anyway, there's the general overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended version of this horoscope in my inner circle, as you can see here. I also do the weekly astrology overview, which the members really do seem to enjoy. And of course, I do teach astrology in there, in the community. We talk about everything from UFOs to politics to religion, you name it. And members get to ask me questions. They will send me a chart or two, and I will answer a few questions for them. But, you know, there's a lot of interaction in the community, especially on Sunday in the Sunday Zoom calls. And so check it out. There's a free 7-day trial. So there's a link down below. So there's no obligation. And I hope to see you in the community. If not, have a great month. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.